Meanwhile, on the home front, Melissa is still working with George and Karen doing mortgages for mostly home purchases. She's not making nearly what we used to make during the refi boom, but enough to pay our household bills without touching our savings. I never had any interest in knowing what my credit scores were. There was no need to know everything was in Melissa's name. She had a high 700 score with all three bureaus, but out of curiosity, I had her pull up my credit report. All three scores were in the low 500s. The reason for that is because a lot of negative reporting that was paid off or written off is still being reported from my casino gambling days. When I looked into it, I learned that under the provisions of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, adverse information may remain on your credit report for up to 7 years. The negative reporting that's on my credit reports was way over 10 years. I called the three bureaus. I was told to write a goodwill letter explaining my situation. They had 30 days to investigate my dispute. If they couldn't prove during that time what I wrote wasn't true, the negative reporting would be removed. I wrote the letters. 2 months later, the negative reporting was off all three bureaus and my credit scores were in the 600s. Right after that, I got a few credit cards and I leased a new Lexus RX 350 to help build up my credit scores. After telling George how easy it was to get my scores in the 600ths, especially when the three credit bureaus only have 30 days to prove the negative reporting is accurate, he opened up a credit repair business. He put Melissa in charge and paid her 20% commission on every deal. She pulled the client's credit report and charged $50 for each negative item reported. Most clients average 20 to 30 negative items on their reports. It wasn't long before Melissa had to hire people to help write clients' goodwill letters. George already had all the clients' loan documentation, so once their scores went up, he got their loan information to the bank. He had to move fast because the negative reporting came back on when a creditor proves after 30 days that the negative reporting is accurate. Most clients' scores went up before that happened, and they purchase a home, refi their existing mortgage, or bought cars. It was kind of a scam, but no worse than what the three credit bureaus are doing. Back in the late 60s, when the establishment was under attack by the hippie movement, you heard the term Big Brother used a lot. The hippies portrayed the feds, media, and corporate America of being in cahoots and having an unauthorized grip on society. Many baby boomers from back then have become leaders in Congress, CEOs of large corporations, major players on Wall Street and in the media. 4 of them became president. So how can it be those same free-spirited, change-the-world baby boomer hippies and non-hippies can sit idle while our capitalist system operates in the same fashion as George Orwell's novel, 1984, where totalitarianism rules, cameras and computers spy on every person's movements? These credit bureaus are the barometer of all lending institutions. Every financial move you make is predicated on how these three bureaus score you. Credit scores can vary significantly. In fact, the average person's score could vary as much as 20 to 30 points between agencies. This dissimilarity leads to higher interest rates or even denial of a loan. The Federal Trade Commission regulates these credit bureaus. Their job is to protect consumers against unfair, deceptive, and fraudulent practices. But during the subprime mortgages boom and now bust, they allow these bureaus to profit from the sale of trigger list of personal and financial data. These bureaus keep the poor poorer and the rich richer. If Orwell was alive today, he could write a sequel for his 1984 novel and call it The Sons of Big Brother, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.